And her eyes, like smoldering coals, ignited his very soul with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. Oh, for the love of—
That's straight from Illusions of Fire. People, the hottest, steamiest, most mythologically charged young adult romance to hit the shelves since the last one probably. But this one has demon aunts.
Demon aunts. Right. Because that's what every teenager needs, more nagging relatives, but with, like, extra horns and a penchant for human sacrifice.
They're protective demon aunts, and they've been training our heroine, Lila, in hand-to-hand combat since she was, like, 5. This girl is basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with better eyeliner and a direct line to the Hindu goddess Draupadi.
Drow, who now? Look, I'm all for diverse representation, but I'm pretty sure my high school experience didn't involve any ancient prophecies or battling mythical creatures. Unless you count Mrs. Henderson, my algebra teacher. That person was a monster.
You're missing the point. Illusions of Fire is about destiny versus free will, about finding your inner power, and of course, about falling for the wrong guy. Enter Karan, our resident brooding bad boy, who initially mistakes Layla for a darker creature.
Oh, I bet he did. Darker creature. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Back in my day, we just called it Tuesday night at the roller rink.
It's enemies to lovers. Classic trope. They start out hating each other, fueled by misunderstandings and, the whole is descended from a rival mythological bloodline thing. But then, the sparks fly.
Sparks fly. Right, because nothing says romance like a centuries-old feud rooted in ancient scriptures. It's like Romeo and Juliet, but with more incense and fewer balcony scenes.
There's a scene where they're training together, and the tension is so thick, you could cut it with a kukuri.
A what now? Is that some kind of euphemism? Because if we're going to start throwing around obscure weaponry terms, I'm going to need a drink. And possibly a translator.
It's a knife, a very sexy knife, and the scene is electric. They're sparring, their bodies are close, their breaths are mingling.
And I'm assuming there's a lot of descriptions of rippling muscles and heaving bosoms.
There's a certain amount of physical description, yes, but it's tasteful. It's about the connection, the raw energy between them.
Raw energy, got it. So, basically they're horny teenagers with superpowers. Sounds about right.
It's more than that. There's a whole subplot about a hidden magical world, a looming battle between good and evil, and Layla's struggle to reconcile her predetermined destiny with her own desires.
Oh, so it's deep too. Like a philosophical treatise on the nature of existence, disguised as a steamy young adult novel. I'm sure Plato would be thrilled.
There's even a guy in the chair character. Boo Karan's cousin is the witty tech, savvy sidekick who provides all the snarky commentary. She's basically the voice of the audience.
So she's you basically, except probably less obsessed with the hero's abs.
Hey, I appreciate a well-defined physique as much as the next person, but Boo is great. She adds a layer of humor and grounding to the whole fantastical situation.
Grounding. In a book about demon aunts and ancient prophecies. Okay.
Look, the plot gets a little convoluted at times. There's a villain reveal that some readers found questionable. And apparently, Karan does something horrific at the beginning, and Layla forgives him almost immediately, which, is a bit of a red flag.
A red flag. That's a whole parade of red flags waving in the breeze, accompanied by a marching band playing the Toxic song by Britney Spears.
But the romance, the tension, the mythology, it's all so intoxicating.
Intoxicating like a cheap bottle of wine that gives you a killer headache the next morning.
You're just jealous because you haven't experienced the fiery passion of 1,000 suns.
I've experienced the fiery passion of a microwave burrito that burned the roof of my mouth. Does that count?
Okay, final verdict time. Illusions of Fire. Thumbs up or thumbs down. For me, it's a resounding thumbs up. It's fun, it's fast-paced, it's got a badass heroine, and it's got enough steam to power a small city.
For me, it's a sideways thumb, leaning slightly downwards. It's entertaining in a so bad, it's good kind of way. Like watching a reality television show about competitive dog grooming. You know it's ridiculous, but you can't look away.
So, you're saying you're secretly going to read it?
I'm saying I might skim it for the rippling muscles, parts. For research purposes, of course.
Of course. And speaking of research, we've got a caller on the line. You're on the air. What's your burning question about? Illusions of Fire.
Oh my goodness, I just finished the book, and I need to know, does Karan ever take his shirt off again after that training scene? Because, wow.
You're speaking for all of us. I can't spoil anything, but let's just say there are plenty of opportunities for Karan to showcase his assets.
I'm sure the author made sure to describe every single glistening bead of sweat in excruciating detail.
Don't ruin the magic. Thank you for calling. And to all our listeners, go out and grab Illusions of Fire by Nisha Sharma. It's the perfect escape from reality, whether you're looking for a thrilling adventure, a swoon-worthy romance, or just a good laugh at the expense of some overly dramatic mythological figures.
And if you happen to be a demon ant looking for a new recruit, hit me up. I'm surprisingly good at wielding a kukuri. Or at least, I think I am. I've never actually held one.
We're out of time. Join us next week when we'll be discussing. Tune in next time to Heartbook Radio.